You're not cold, you're conditioned. Like Marcus, he was having an amazing day. He finally closed on a deal at work that he had been chasing for months. This was the kind of deal that gets you handshakes from the boss and respect from the team. He even grabbed takeout for dinner on the way home, just trying to be thoughtful. But when he walked through the door, he could feel it. The energy. His wife barely looked up from the couch. The kids were loud, the dishes weren't done, and the moment he sat down, she started. You didn't even ask me how my day was. I've been in here all day with the kids taking care of the house. I feel like I'm drowning. You don't talk to me anymore. I feel disconnected and I feel like I'm married to a brick wall. Marcus didn't yell. He didn't roll his eyes. Actually didn't say much of anything. He just sat there, he nodded a little, and waited for it to pass like he always does. Because in his mind, he was doing everything right. He was working hard, he was providing, he was keeping the peace. What else was he supposed to be doing? But deep down, he knew. This wasn't the first time that she had said that. And every time she would say it, it left another crack that he didn't know how to fix. You might know Marcus. In fact, you might be Marcus. You're not as emotionally available as your woman or your kids need you to be. But it's not because you don't care, but it's because you were never taught how to show up in that way. You were taught to suppress your emotions, to stay strong, and to handle it alone. And you don't just struggle to express yourself, you don't know how to respond to other people either. And you don't want to seem weak or lose her respect. But listen, it's not that you're cold, you're conditioned. You were taught that emotions are weakness, but now your silence is costing you the connections that you value the most. Give me just 1 second and allow me to ruffle some feathers. So, some of you know, I'm not going to put it on you. Let's put it on some of your friends. Yeah, because they're not here to defend themselves. So, some of your friends believe what a lot of men have been told, that emotions are for women, that men are logical, women are emotional. And if your friends were here, I would tell them that that's not true. I would tell them that's not silent, that's not science, that's social conditioning. So let's talk science and facts for a second. The part of your brain that processes emotions, the limbic system, right here in the middle, this is developed long before the part that processes logic, right? The prefrontal cortex, which is right here behind your forehead, right? So your emotional brain reacts faster than your logical brain, right? It is wired to detect threats and protect you. So before you can even think, you feel. That's not weakness, that's wiring. So if men and women have the same brain, then this idea that men are naturally less emotional, it doesn't hold up. So the real question isn't why men are less emotional, it's why are men taught to hide it? From the time you were a boy, you were taught don't cry, don't complain, man up, big boys don't cry, don't be soft. And then somewhere along the way, life flips the script, and now you're expected to be the protector, the provider, the problem solver, but still not feel. That's impossible. And that's not strength, that's a setup. You do feel. You feel the same emotions that everybody else does: anger, sadness, shame, pressure, all of them, right? But the difference is that you have been trained to express them in ways that are more socially acceptable. So, anger, that's okay for you. So, everything turns into frustration. Numbness, praised as you being unbothered or cool or nonchalant. And your silence is mistaken for strength. But here's the truth: silence doesn't build connection, it breaks it down. Your feelings are valid, even the uncomfortable ones. You weren't born emotionally unavailable. You were taught that. And anything that you were taught, you can unlearn. Because you're not cold, you're conditioned. And let me say this other thing while we're on this topic. This whole idea that men are logical, women are emotional, this whole myth, it's not just hurting men. Some women like to use it as an excuse too, right? I'm just emotional. That's why I reacted that way, as if just being a woman naturally gives them an excuse to behave poorly. But no, sis, that's not accountability. Emotional expression is not an excuse for emotional irresponsibility. We all have emotions, but we also all have the power to choose how we respond. Emotional intelligence isn't about gender, it's about growth. And when we don't grow emotionally, we carry that pain in our bodies. Stress, high blood pressure, insomnia. Your emotions will make themselves known. You can either listen and express them, or your body will. So here's why this is hard. Men are raised to seek respect, not understanding. You're expected to be the rock, strong, steady, unshakable. So when emotions show up, you shut down, not because you don't feel, but because you don't think anyone will understand. Or worse, you're afraid that your emotions will be used against you later and thrown in your face. You want to be there emotionally for your people, but the truth is, no one ever taught you how. So you stay silent, you play it safe, but silence doesn't protect your peace, it poisons your connection. That's why we're here today. Not to make you soft, but to make you stronger. Not to strip you of respect, but to give you tools to earn it in every room that you walk into, especially the ones that matter most. How do I know this? I am Erin F. Darden. I am a certified emotional intelligence coach and the founder of EQ for Love, where I teach emotional intelligence tools for better communication, deeper connection, and lasting love. In addition to being an emotional intelligence coach, I am a lawyer. Now, I do concede that I am not a man. I will not sit here and pretend that I know what it's like to need respect. But as a young Black woman in that world, in the legal world, respect isn't an option, it's survival. And there was a time where I prided myself on being logical, on keeping it all together. There was no space for being the emotional woman, and definitely not the angry Black woman. So I've done what many of you have done. I suppressed my emotions, I stuck to the fact, and I believed that there was no time and no need for feelings. But here's what I learned the hard way: suppressing emotion doesn't make you stronger, it makes you disconnected. Disconnected from your needs, disconnected from your people, disconnected from yourself. And I learned that suppressing them doesn't make them go away. They just resurface in other ways, like you shutting down, the silent treatment, or frustration. I realized that in avoiding my emotions, I was robbing myself of clarity, of direction, of connection. Right? Emotions aren't weaknesses, they're data. And emotional intelligence, that's strategy. Emotional intelligence is not therapy. It's not about being soft. It's about learning how to recognize, regulate, and respond to emotions in a way that serve you. Right? Emotions have function. Fear protects. Anger alerts. Sadness signals loss. And joy connects. So when you suppress emotions, you suppress the message, and you miss the opportunity to respond with intention. Right? So emotional intelligence gives you that awareness. It helps you pause, assess, and choose the next move instead of reacting or retreating. Right? So emotional intelligence is not about being emotional. It doesn't have to be this dramatic thing that lasts a long time. Emotional intelligence is about being strategic. It's the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions and the emotions of others. And it matters a lot, right? Harvard Business Review says emotional intelligence accounts for 58% of all types of jobs. 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence. How about this? People with high emotional intelligence earn 29,000 more on average per year. And then in relationships, couples with high emotional intelligence are more likely to feel understood, resolve conflict faster, and report higher satisfaction. Right? So this isn't fluff. These are facts. Right? And emotional intelligence is the secret to building trust and respect at home, in business, and every other area of your life. Right? So at home, emotional intelligence helps you stop shutting down and helps you to start showing up. It helps you listen without trying to fix, which dismisses how your partner is feeling in case you didn't know. And you can speak without escalating. It helps you communicate more effectively. It helps your partner feel seen, heard, and understood. Right? But emotional intelligence is not just about your romantic relationships. It's also how you stay calm in high pressure meetings, how you read the room, how you manage stress and connect better with your colleagues and your clients. It makes you a better negotiator. It helps you to handle rejection without shutting down and lead with confidence instead of control. And probably most importantly, it helps you show up for your kids in ways that they will never forget. This isn't soft. This is solid. This is leadership in every room that you walk into. And when you start using these tools, you'll feel the difference, and so will everyone around you, right? This isn't about being emotional, it's about being effective. I want to leave you with this. If your silence is costing you your connections and you're ready to stop being misunderstood and start being heard, emotional intelligence is definitely your next move. And so here are three things that you can start doing right now. Number one, name what you feel. Not, I'm mad, I'm fine, I'm cool. No, name it. Are you frustrated? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel disrespected? Are you disappointed? You're not weak for feeling it. You're human, right? I've already explained that the human brain is wired to give emotions the upper hand. You've just been ignoring them, or you may lack the emotional vocabulary to acknowledge them, right? If I'm sick and I go to the doctors and the doctors say, well, hey, what's wrong? And I cannot tell the doctor what's wrong, that doesn't make me any less sick because I can't articulate it. The second thing that you can do after you name what you are feeling is to understand what your emotions are trying to tell you. Every emotion is a message. Is there an unmet need? Is there an action you need to take? Is there something that you need to communicate to your partner? And then once you understand the purpose of the emotion you are feeling, the third thing is to respond with purpose. Pause, take a second, and then choose your next best step. I remember I was working with this man, and when I say working with this man, I mean his girl was my client. And at first, he declined to talk to me, which is how it always goes, but it's okay. But he came back around and he decided to talk to me. And when he did, let's call him Jason. So when Jason finally came and talked to me, he said, "I am doing everything right, everything that I'm supposed to do. I provide, I protect, but she's still saying that she doesn't feel connected to me." And so I asked him a simple question. When was the last time you actually told her how you feel? He got quiet. Not because he didn't have feelings, but because he didn't have the words for them. He said, she knows I love her. I just been going through a lot. And so I asked, have you told her that? His response was, she wouldn't understand. Here's what I told him. You have to give your partner the opportunity to be who you need her to be. You wouldn't like it if she asked another man for money to cover an unexpected expense because, as her man, that's your job. Well, just like that's your role, she believes her role is to support you emotionally, but you have to give her the chance. Now, like I said, I had already been working with his girl, so I knew that she was a safe space for him. She just wanted to support him and to be his cheerleader, but she just didn't know how because he never let her in. Now, let me pause to say this. I do recognize that not everybody has a safe space like this. Just know that I wish this type of healthy partnership for you all. Okay. Now, back to Jason. I asked him again, when was the last time you actually told her what you were dealing with and how you feel about her? And he said, no one has ever taught him how. So we started simple, right? Just learning how to name the emotions: frustrated, disappointed, disrespected, left out, overwhelmed, whatever, right? And what this helped him to realize is that he wasn't the problem. He was just emotionally under equipped. A few weeks later, he came back and said, I didn't even know how badly I needed this, right? My girl noticed the change before I even said anything. And she told me, I feel like I can finally talk to you. This is the power of emotional intelligence. It doesn't make you soft, it makes you available. And that availability, it builds trust, it builds peace, it builds connection. I want you to ask yourself a few questions. What would your relationship look like if your partner did not have to guess how you feel? What would your kids say about how safe they feel coming to you when things get hard? What kind of leader would you be if you could stay calm, connected, and confident even when the pressure hits? That's not a fantasy. That's emotional intelligence, and you don't have to figure it out alone. You were taught to stay strong, suppress your emotions, and do it all alone. But the world has changed. Your relationships have changed, right? It's not enough to just be a provider. And your silence is no longer a strength, it's a barrier. You're not cold, you're conditioned. And it is time to unlearn what no longer serves you. So, if you are ready to do the work, to protect your peace, to lead with confidence, and create deeper connections, let's talk. You can book a breakthrough call with me, where we'll get clear on what's really getting in your way, right? What emotional roadblocks are holding you back. We'll talk about how you currently show up emotionally, right? Where you're shutting down or where you're staying silent. And then we'll talk about simple shifts that you can make to improve your connection without losing yourself or without feeling soft, right? You're going to walk away with concrete tools that you can start using right away, none of that fluff, right? Or you could take an EQ assessment that I have where it will tell you kind of where you stand with your level of emotional intelligence and what you can do to improve. All right, just remember that real strength isn't about what you suppress, it's about what you master. You're not cold, you're conditioned, but you can change that. If you want to keep doing the work, whether it's building better communication, becoming more emotionally present, or creating deeper connection in your relationship, I would love to stay connected with you. You can find me online at eqforlove.com, where you will find resources, more about my coaching, workshop, my membership community, and also some self guided resources. Or we can stay connected through social media. On all the platforms, it's my name, Erin F. Darden, on TikTok, Instagram, and that is where I share practical tools and insights on emotional intelligence and relationships every week. So whether you're ready to take the next step or you just want to learn more, I am here when you're ready. So let's keep building better communication, deeper connection, and lasting love together.
Yesterday we had such an amazing time with Erin. She got everybody talking, especially my husband, who never opens to emotions. So thank you for that. I had not seen that side in him. So thank you for that. Erin will be back on the show this evening when we have Clifton Brown, who will be doing his book, Harness Your Emotional Intelligence. We've had a whole weekend of emotional intelligence, some absolutely fabulous speakers. All the videos will be available on our channel, discoverbrightside.com/men. This is the 6th year that we are hosting our annual men's conference, and we had a blast. So I hope that you will join us tonight and watch our videos and our replays. Tell us what you think, share, and write us a comment. And definitely go to Erin's website. I was on it last night. It is a wealth of information. And she even has an academy, and she has some real people with skill sets that you might need. And so definitely set up that breakthrough session with her. You will not be disappointed. I highly recommend it. You're watching Discover Brightside, and thank you for watching our channel.
Thank you.